Royal breakups aren't just about heartbreak. They've toppled kingdoms, sparked scandals, and left history in shock. From kings publicly humiliating their brides to queens plotting revenge, these love disasters are juicier than any modern drama. Join us as we dive into the most outrageous, scandalous, and unforgettable breakup stories of history's most powerful monarchs, where love, power, and betrayal collide in ways you won't believe. The humiliated king. Imagine being promised a royal marriage, hailed as a queen, only to have the king call you a disappointment on your wedding day. This is exactly what happened to Anne of Cleves, the fourth wife of England's most infamous monarch, King Henry VIII. Henry, desperate to secure a political alliance with her brother, the Duke of Cleves, agreed to marry Anne based on a flattering portrait. But when she arrived in England, reality hit him like a thunderbolt. Henry reportedly exclaimed that she was not as she appeared, and within 6 months their marriage was annulled. But the story isn't just about rejection, it's about survival, wit, and unexpected resilience. Unlike most jilted royals who would face disgrace or even danger, Anne navigated this humiliating situation with remarkable grace. She didn't sulk or rebel. Instead, she charmed the court, gained a generous pension, and even earned the king's lasting respect. Anne was nicknamed the king's beloved sister after the annulment, a title that came with privileges and protection. The drama here isn't just personal, it's political. A failed royal marriage could have sparked tensions between England and the German states, but Anne's tact and Henry's unusual tolerance turned a potential international scandal into a story of clever survival. Humor lurks in the absurdity. A king rejecting his bride, a jilted queen becoming his sister, and everyone at court gossiping with delight. This story isn't just a breakup, it's a lesson in turning humiliation into influence, showing that in the world of royalty, sometimes the most unassuming figures wield the greatest power, the Queen's revenge. Few royal romances have burned as brightly and as tragically as the love story of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Their relationship was a heady mix of passion, politics, and power, the kind of love that could alter the fate of entire empires. Cleopatra, the cunning and magnetic queen of Egypt, captivated Mark Antony, one of Rome's most powerful leaders. But their love wasn't just personal, it was a political alliance, with the stakes higher than any ordinary romance. Drama soon turned dark. Political pressure, jealousy, and betrayal poisoned their bond. Roman forces, led by Octavian, sought to end Antony's influence, and Cleopatra became both ally and scapegoat. The tension escalated as trust broke down, and their once passionate love became a deadly trap. In a shocking twist, rather than surrender or live apart, Antony and Cleopatra chose to die together. Their double suicide shocked the world, turning their breakup into one of history's most dramatic exits. Yet, within this tragedy lies a striking human story. Cleopatra's intelligence and Antony's devotion clashed with political realities, showing how love in royal life was rarely private or safe. There's a darkly humorous irony, too, a breakup so extreme that it ended not with tears or letters, but with two empires shaken to their core. Their story is a testament to how love, power, and revenge intertwine in royal history, reminding us that behind every crown, there are hearts capable of incredible passion and devastating decisions. The public breakup. Imagine being dumped not in private, but in front of an entire royal court, where every whisper, smirk, and rumor is magnified 1,000 times. This was the reality for Madame de Montespan, the famed mistress of King Louis XIV of France. She had enjoyed years of influence, wealth, and the king's undivided attention. But when the king's affections shifted, Her heartbreak became a spectacle for the entire court to witness. Louis XIV didn't just quietly end the affair. The abandonment was public and unmistakable. Courtiers whispered, pamphlets circulated, and Madame de Montespan's fall from favor was dissected like a scandalous play. The court, hungry for gossip, treated her humiliation as entertainment, proving that in royal life, private matters rarely stay private. What makes this story uniquely fascinating is how personal heartbreak could ripple through politics. Alliances shifted, loyalties wavered, and even the king's decisions were influenced by his romantic life. Humor, oddly enough, hides in the absurdity of it all. A king breaking up with a mistress as if announcing a new fashion trend, while the court eagerly watched her rejection performance. Yet, behind the laughter and drama, Madame de Montespan's resilience shines. Despite losing the king's favor, she maintained her dignity, navigated court intrigues, and remained an influential figure in French politics. This story isn't just about a breakup. It's a glimpse into a world where love, power, and public perception collide. It shows that in royal life, heartbreak wasn't just personal. It could shape history itself. The scandalous affair. Few royal breakups have made headlines or shaken nations like the story of King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson. Edward, heir to the British throne, fell in love with Wallis, an American divorcee, and the world watched in disbelief as their romance unfolded. But their love wasn't just a personal matter. It clashed violently with duty, tradition, and the very structure of the British monarchy. Edward faced an impossible choice: marry Wallis and give up the crown, or abandon love to rule as king. In a decision that stunned the world, he chose love. On December 11, 1936, Edward abdicated the throne, making him the only British monarch in modern history to do so voluntarily. The breakup between Edward and his future role as king wasn't just emotional. It triggered a constitutional crisis and sent shockwaves across the empire. The drama is unforgettable. A king rejecting duty, risking national stability, all for the woman he loved. Humor sneaks in when imagining a monarch quitting his job for romance, something almost unimaginable today. And yet, curiosity keeps us hooked. How did the monarchy survive this scandal? How did Wallis and Edward navigate life after such a historic decision? This affair shows that in royal life, love isn't just a private matter. It can topple kingdoms, rewrite history, and leave the world astonished. Edward and Wallis's story remains a timeless lesson in passion, rebellion, and the unpredictable power of the heart. The royal divorce that shocked the world. In the twilight of Imperial Russia, the marriage of Tsar Nicholas II and Alexandra Romanov was anything but fairy tale. While their union began with love, it soon became a tense and tragic tale of mistrust, political pressure, and personal heartbreak. Rumors of affairs, the influence of mystics, and constant family interference strained their relationship, turning what should have been a private matter into a crisis with national consequences. Their personal struggles didn't stay private. The couple's constant arguments, emotional distance, and scandals fueled public distrust, weakening the monarchy's image during a time of political unrest. Historians argue that their troubled marriage contributed indirectly to the collapse of the Russian Empire and the rise of revolution. A royal breakup, or even the perception of one, proved that intimate relationships could have catastrophic effects on an entire nation. Yet, within this tragedy lies fascination. The sheer intensity of their devotion, the pressure of duty, and the constant scrutiny created a perfect storm of drama. Humor, in a dark sense, emerges from the irony. A marriage meant to unify an empire instead became part of its downfall. The story is both heartbreaking and captivating, showing how even the most powerful rulers cannot escape the human cost of love gone awry. This final chapter of royal heartbreak reminds us that behind crowns and palaces lie human hearts, vulnerable to betrayal, miscommunication, and the pressures of history itself. In royalty, love can be as dangerous as war, and sometimes even deadlier. From public humiliations to political crises, these royal breakups prove that even kings and queens aren't immune to heartbreak. History remembers not just their power, but their failed romances. If you thought your love life was dramatic, remember, royalty turned heartbreak into an art form. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories where love, scandal, and history collide in ways you won't believe.